Hey guys, got another short quick one for you. I am working on this NordicTrack commercial X22i incline trainer, and I noticed that the issue that I was having was the console making a continuous humming noise. So you guys, if you're suffering from a humming noise coming from your console, you might be thinking, it's an electronic issue and I'm gonna have to replace the whole thing. And that is actually a couple $1,000s, or it's just very expensive to replace these things. So hopefully it is not an electronic issue on your part. I'm gonna walk you through what I did and what I found, and if you have the same issue as I had, then good news, you're not gonna have to replace it. It's so simple to fix. So let me walk you through my process and how I diagnosed this issue, how I found out what the actual problem was. So what I did was I listened to where the humming noise was coming from. When the console was upright, I figured it might be the speakers or the fans inside. You can see the fans right there. Because a lot of times with treadmills, the speakers will create noises because they either go out or they're bad, or there's just some issue with them. And I noticed that the humming noise was not coming from the speakers. And when I would turn on the fans function normally, and the humming noise was not from the fans. Then after that, what I did was press the speed and incline buttons and also some other buttons on the screen just to see if the console functioned completely like normal, and if it was registering to the treadmill and the treadmill would rep up the speed and do the incline, and everything functioned normal. So that told me, okay, probably isn't a electronic issue. So let me go to the back of the console, or actually before I get into that, another thing I did was I tilted the screen, and I noticed something interesting. When I would tilt the screen a certain direction, the humming noise would stop, and then when I tilted it in the opposite direction, the humming noise would be created. So that was interesting. Then I ended up going to the back of the console and started listening for where specifically the noise was coming from, and I noticed that the noise was coming from this general area. So at that point, I decided to dissect it just to further see what the issue might be. So I took the backings off, I took it off of the frame, laid the console out on a blanket, and unscrewed this back piece and lifted it up. And what I noticed was in this area is a small CPU fan that is exposed. It's not even covered. I also noticed that there's a whole bunch of wires on top of it, sitting on top of it, that are held by a zip tie. And so in my mind, I was thinking, well, when I would tilt the screen, what probably was happening was the wires was touching or hitting the fan, creating that humming noise. So what I did was move the wires down a little bit, re-zip tied it. I cut the original zip tie, re-zip tied it, and put this backing back on and held it in a certain place. And then I attached the wire harness to the bottom wire harness and turned the machine on. Once I turned the machine on and the console was on, I lifted the console up and I tilted the screen again to see if that noise would be created. Lo and behold, the noise was not being created, and it was completely silent, or almost completely silent, and the issue was no more. So what I've concluded is that the wires was the problem, hitting that little CPU fan because they were just positioned off, and there wasn't actually an electronic issue with the console at all. So if you guys are thinking your console might be broken and you have to replace it, don't immediately just buy into that, because once again, these cost a lot of money. They're like thousands of dollars. It might just be something as simple as wires touching a fan. So hopefully this helps you guys out and helps you to diagnose your issue further if you're having the same problem. If you like this video, please leave us a like. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. And of course, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. We'll see you guys in the next one.